Welcome to Lyon, France, a city where history and modern life meet. From above, the red rooftops and winding rivers create a beautiful picture. Walking through the streets, you see the energy of everyday life. Shops, cafes, and small details that bring the city to life. The historical church stands proudly, a reminder of Lyon's rich past. This is just a glimpse of Lyon. Stay with the travel man to watch the full video. From above the hill of Fourvière, two landmarks stand out. The Basilica of Notre Dame de Fourvière, built in the late 1800s, is one of Lyon's most famous sights. Its towers rise above the skyline, and inside, it is richly decorated with mosaics and stained glass. Next to it is the metal tower of Fourvière, often called Lyon's Little Eiffel Tower. Completed in 1894, it is nearly 86 meters tall and was inspired by the Eiffel Tower in Paris. It is now used for communication signals, but from the outside it remains a well-known part of the city's view. These rivers shape the city and meet at the southern tip of the Presqu'île, a central area known for wide boulevards, lively squares, and historic buildings. From this aerial view, you can see how water defines the shape of the city and gives it a very special character. Below the hill, the district of Vieux Lyon, or Old Lyon, is easy to spot. It is filled with narrow streets and Renaissance buildings. The most important landmark here is Saint-Jean Cathedral, built over 3 centuries between 1175 and 1480. The church combines Romanesque and Gothic styles and is known for its large astronomical clock, which has been working since the 14th century. This part of the city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is one of the best preserved Renaissance quarters in Europe. Flying further, the drone shows both the Saône and Rhône riverbanks. These areas have walking paths, cycle routes, and cafes where locals spend time. At the southern end of the Presqu'île lies the Confluence District, a modern area with striking architecture, museums, and shopping centers. From above, the contrast between this new part of Lyon and the old buildings near Fourvière shows how the city blends history with development. This aerial view is more than just scenery. It gives a clear sense of Lyon's identity, a city shaped by rivers, crowned by its basilica and tower, filled with history, and always moving forward. This chapter of the journey shows Lyon at ground level, through the footsteps of its daily life. From historic alleys to lively boulevards, walking the streets makes it clear why Lyon is seen as both a historic treasure and a modern, living city. Walking through Lyon feels like stepping into a city that has many different faces. Each district has its own style, and the streets tell their story as you move along. In Vieux Lyon, or Old Lyon, the streets are narrow and often paved with cobblestones. Many of these houses date back to the Renaissance, and the area is filled with small shops, cafes, and restaurants. Here you can also find traboules, which are hidden passageways running through buildings and courtyards. Crossing over to the Presqu'île, the streets become wider and livelier. This area between the two rivers is where you find large squares such as Place Bellecour, one of the biggest open squares in Europe. Outdoor cafes line the pavements, and the rhythm of the city feels faster compared to the quieter corners of Old Lyon. As you continue walking, you might notice how the architecture changes. The streets are steeper and filled with staircases. This district was once home to the silk industry, and many buildings here have high ceilings designed for weaving workshops. Today, the area has a more creative feel, with street art, markets, and independent shops. Walking in Lyon is not only about the buildings but also the atmosphere. You hear the sound of church bells from the old quarters, conversations in cafes, and sometimes music from street performers. Up on Fourvière Hill, overlooking the whole of Lyon, stands the Basilica of Notre Dame de Fourvière. From the ground it already looks impressive, but when you reach it, the scale and detail are even clearer. The basilica was built between 1872 and 1896, designed in a mix of Romanesque and Byzantine styles. Its four main towers rise proudly, making it one of the city's most visible landmarks. Inside the basilica, the decoration is striking. The walls and ceilings are covered with colorful mosaics, gilded details, and stained glass windows. The effort put into the design reflects the strong religious history of Lyon, and even for visitors who are not religious, the craftsmanship and atmosphere make it a memorable stop. Beneath the main church is a crypt dedicated to St. Joseph, offering a quieter space for reflection. Outside, the esplanade in front of the basilica is one of the best viewpoints in the city. As the sun sets, Lyon takes on a very different character. The streets become quieter, the light softens, and the rivers reflect the glow of the city. Walking near the bridges in the evening is one of the best ways to see this change. The Rhône and Saône each have wide banks with paths that are open for walkers and cyclists, and at night these paths come alive with people enjoying the calm atmosphere. Street lamps cast a warm glow, and the surface of the water mirrors the lights of the bridges, turning the rivers into long lines of color. The bridges themselves are worth noticing at night. Some are lit in bright tones, while others are more softly lit, giving each one a unique character. Standing in the middle of a bridge gives you a view both up and down the river, with the city lights stretching into the distance. You hear a mix of gentle conversation, bicycles passing by, and the steady sound of water moving below. One of the most popular spots for evenings in Lyon is along the stairs and embankments near the Saône. These steps, often built into the riverbank, become natural seating areas where groups of friends gather. People bring drinks, snacks, or simply sit and enjoy the view. It is not unusual to hear music playing, either from a portable speaker or a street performer nearby. The mood is relaxed, social, and welcoming. Walking further, you notice how different parts of the city look at night compared to the daytime. In Views Lyon, the old streets are lit with a warm, golden tone, making the Renaissance facades feel even more atmospheric. On the Presqu'Île, the squares and wider boulevards are brighter, with cafes and restaurants still busy late into the evening. Even a simple evening stroll becomes memorable here. Sitting on the riverside steps, watching the reflections dance on the water, or walking across a lit bridge gives you a feeling of calm while still being part of the city. Night in Lyon is not about rushing, it is about slowing down. From above, Lyon at night has a magical quality. The rivers, Rhône and Saône, glow with reflections of the city lights, and the bridges stretch across them like golden ribbons. Boats drift slowly along the water, some carrying evening diners or tourists, their lights flickering and reflecting on the calm surface. The movement of the boats adds life to the quiet nighttime cityscape, creating a rhythm that is both gentle and captivating. Flying over the bridges, you can see how each one has its own character. Some, like Pont Morand and Pont de la Guillotière, are softly lit and elegant, while others shine brighter, highlighting the architectural details. These bridges are not only functional but become central parts of the night view, connecting the city while also creating striking visual lines from above. Along the riverside, the Continental Hotel stands out. Its modern structure is positioned right on the Saône, and its lights reflect beautifully in the water. From this vantage point, you can appreciate how the city combines historic charm with contemporary buildings. Across the river, the rooftops of Old Lyon, including the spires and towers of St. Jean Cathedral and other historic churches, are visible in the warm glow of evening lights. The drone continues to pan across the city. The Presqu'île stretches below, full of illuminated streets, squares, and cafes, while the hills of Fourvière rise gently in the distance, crowned by the lit Basilica of Notre-Dame de Fourvière and the metal tower. From above, the balance between old and new becomes clear: historic buildings, modern hotels, and lively streets all coexisting, connected by the rivers and bridges. This aerial night view captures Lyon's calm yet vibrant personality. The reflections on the water, the lights on the bridges, and the quiet movement of boats show a city that is alive, even at night, but at a peaceful pace. It is a perfect way to appreciate the city's layout and its landmarks. The view shifts from above to ground level as we begin a drive through the streets of Lyon, this time captured from a dash cam. The perspective is simple and direct, almost like you're sitting in the passenger seat, taking in the city as it unfolds in front of you. Driving in Lyon offers a chance to see the city's rhythm more closely, to observe the details that pass by slowly when walking but appear in quick succession from behind the wheel. The roads are lined with tall, elegant buildings, many of them with those distinct French windows and balconies that define Lyon's architecture. The wide avenues of the Presqu'île give a sense of space, while smaller side streets tempt you with glimpses of cafes, bakeries, and local shops. It's easy to notice how the city balances activity with calmness. Cars move steadily, cyclists weave through bike lanes, and pedestrians cross at their own relaxed pace. As the drive continues, the rivers make their presence known again. Bridges appear ahead, their lights guiding the way, and when crossing, you get fleeting but beautiful views of the Rhône or Seine flowing quietly below. The water, the reflections, and the buildings rising on the banks create a layered picture that changes as you move forward. The dashcam captures not just the famous landmarks but also the everyday life of Lyon. Scooters zipping by, trams running smoothly along their tracks, and people gathering at corner cafes remind you that this is a living city, not just a backdrop for sightseeing. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Travel Man.